people could have been stopped months before, suggesting many of the murders could have been prevented.
You have heard a lot about the Baseline Killer. Now it's what you haven't heard that might be shocking. Key evidence untested, a breakdown of communication, and delays during a high-priority investigation. These are all new claims against the City of Phoenix Crime Lab. Our Christopher Sine, the Valley's lead reporter covering the Baseline Killer case since the start back in 2005.
And Chris, this is serious. Murders that could have been prevented.
Prevented had the crime lab not made several key mistakes. That's according to this paperwork I obtained. This as several victims' family members go after the City of Phoenix in a civil lawsuit over the Baseline Killer investigation. Dozens of pages detailing the DNA of Mark Goudeau. The serial killer is now on death row, convicted of killing 9 and raping and robbing many more.
This really could have and should have and very easily could have been prevented.
The rape of 2 sisters in a Phoenix park is the focus of this paperwork, with allegations that key evidence was not tested, sitting in a lab for months while Goudeau would go on to kill 8 people.
They just simply dropped the ball.
Mark Victor represents the victims' families. He is suing the city and hired a forensic DNA expert to review the chain of evidence against Goudeau. This is that expert's report, describing what she calls failures by the crime lab.
It's not frivolous. It's a what I would call a slam dunk type of a case.
Most explosive in the documents, claims that 2 of 3 bodily fluid swabs and underwear from the victim's rape kit went untested.
They take the right breast swab and they order those for testing at the Phoenix Crime Lab. The left breast swabs are not sent for testing. They're put in the freezer.
According to the report, this happened despite detectives labeling all the evidence as high priority. The report also stated that additional evidence from the September 2005 rape sat in the freezer while Goudeau's crime spree continued. The documents also seemingly show detectives request all items from the specific incident to be analyzed for DNA.
I do have a detective who was very involved in the Baseline investigation, very involved, who is going to be on our witness list.
The expert's report also indicates the additional swabs in underwear sat untested because one swab initially proved difficult to analyze. Therefore, technicians delayed testing the remaining swabs.
I could not believe that my wife was murdered.
Al Hogue is one of the victim's family members represented by Victor.
If they don't test it, why collect it in the first place?
His wife's death left him to raise their children alone. He, like the other victims' families, received the new report from Victor's expert.
It would be irresponsible for me not to find out what happened for my boys.
The documents place blame on the Phoenix lab, calling the actions of the lab a neglect of due diligence. Keep in mind, police already had Mark Goudeau's DNA in the system from a previous felony conviction. So when the technicians finally did test everything,
bam, match right to Mark Goudeau from that left breast swab.
That's the DNA match that ultimately put him on death row.
In terms of what happened, I could try this case tomorrow.
Christopher Sine, ABC 15 News.
We're told the case is expected to go to trial the second week of September.
And to be clear, we reached out to Phoenix police, and as in past situations, due to the pending legal action, the department is unable to comment. That is standard procedure for the city. Right